Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the MRC show that never ends. Welcome, everybody, to your Monday night entertainment, the opening race of our double header here, of course, this evening at the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps circuit here in Belgium. Before we get into qualifying, this beautiful sunny qualifying evening, I have got a guest with me this evening. Some say he has more hair than Michael Jackson and Sideshow Bob combined. Some say he is Saviour's worst nightmare. I say he's just an all-round lovely chap. Mr. Chris Bailey, welcome back. It's been a long time.
Hello, my friend. I can definitely feel something poking around my rear end. It must be your nose, but it's good to be back, mate. I've missed you. I've missed you, and it's nice to be back. And what a track to come back and do some comes at. Of all the tracks, this is up there with one of the best in the whole world.
It really is, isn't it? It really is. It's such a good fun track. It's such a fast circuit. A long lap, about 1 minute 43, might say 1 minute 44s in qualifying. I mean, Ujoni and Benny will probably do the 1 minute 39s, knowing those two.
I reckon 1 minute 20 for Ben.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. It really, really wouldn't. But yeah, so we're about 1 minute 46 is 47 race pace, but just a tough track, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of potential to ruin a lap. There's a lot of times to push that bit too hard, and it's another one of those many circuits that's a big compromise, isn't it, for setup?
Yeah, I mean, you've got such a tight technical, fast and flowing, and a very fun middle sector, and also a bit of the end of the lap. And then the first sector is so flat out, and the very end of the lap through coming up to your bus stop, it's such high speed, both with and without DRS, that you can't run too much ring out of fear of being mugged.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any ring at all, or you don't get the right suspension, as you see Mida coming through Pouillon right now, if your car does not hold on and just grip, you're going to go flying Giovinazzi style into the barrier.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah, of course. I remember that big crash. Yeah, you're right there.
Back in his Alfa Romeo days.
It was. He was having a good race. Wasn't he on for 9th at that point, I do believe?
Yeah.
I think
he was in the mix for points, and then suddenly he was in the mix for an A&E ride home.
Yeah, it certainly was, wasn't it? Really tough one for him. And, of course, there's been a bit of tragedy around here over the years. Who can forget Antoine Hubert in the Formula 2 race a few seasons ago. And, of course, one of the standout talents that, unfortunately, was lost too soon.
Definitely.
So,
let's come on board with Nick. I think he's just starting a lap.
Yeah, I'm just looking through on his teammate, funny enough, who was the first one.
Apologies.
So on a fast lap.
Of course.
But welcome everybody in the stream. All 8 of you, please hit the like button. Bergen's asking what time invites are.
Invites are yesterday at 3:30 AM. Bergen, just put that in your diary, mate.
Oh, we're talking about difficulties. Doris is retired from the session. You might be on a qualifying ban. Yeah, he might be on a... He did an outlap and went in, so yeah, he's done his outlap, which is fine. Monster, yeah. So we got Manouche. It's the pace... Oh my god, really? Anyway, moving on.
Bonsoir, Mangucci.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, Monster loved this place. Obvious reason, a special track for him, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he has a good result this evening. But this opening lap around here, that La Source hairpin, probably one of, apart from maybe Monza, maybe one of the tightest and most difficult first corners, isn't it?
It is. It's such a short run down to turn 1. One of the shortest runs in motorsport, not just Formula 1. And somehow it's a DRS zone, which doesn't make any sense to me. But still,
it's a bit strange, isn't it, to have that?
But yeah, as Alex comes across the line heading towards that, you see how short that start finish straight is. 1:45.0 on a medium, good banker.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very tight one. There's a lot of lines you can take for a good exit. On the race start, we've seen, remember Grosjean, I think it was 2012, when he went flying into Hamilton, Alonso, Kobayashi, and there's probably a couple more. We've seen Hulkenberg plough into the back of people and take out Leclerc and Alonso before. If you have a crash at turn 1, it's usually a mass booking into the local hospital, and yeah, it's a very big mess when you do have a crash there.
It is, yeah, you're right.
If you get the right line, you've got a great run down to Eau Rouge and Raidillon, so it's worth positioning your car for an exit rather than the entry.
No, exactly. It is. That's it. It's that exit is so important, isn't it? And it's amazing how much time you can gain down the hill, as you say, through Eau Rouge, up through Radion, and it's down the Kennel Straight. It's hugely important. It's surprising for, you know, it just sets up the whole lap.
It does, and considering how long that run is that you mentioned, going towards Radion, Eau Rouge, and then on to Le Combe, that stretch there, all nowadays modern cars full throttle. It never used to be back in the 80s, 90s, and even the early noughties. But that section there, even on the high fuel, worn tyres in the race, is full throttle the whole way. That is the longest stretch of full throttle running in Formula 1 right now, and in world endurance too, for that matter.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's amazing the videos that come out when you look at the hypercars through like the LMP1s and the GT Endurance Championships that you mentioned, and then Formula 1, the speed difference that they can carry through there, it's incredible. Some of them it's, up to over 180 mile an hour through Eau Rouge and Radion. It's insane speeds, and the G-force changes as well. Really, really scary.
It really is. It's impressive.
It is, absolutely. And a couple of lap times, there's only a couple of people in the pits, funny enough, at the moment, but we've got a few lap times coming thick and fast. C8, a 43.2, 2/10 ahead of Roddy, and then he's only a tenth or half a tenth ahead of Airways. Armour's up there as well. Mamudev on the medium sets a really good lap on the 43.6. That's a really good lap on those medium tyres.
It's a very good lap. Really, really impressive lap time, that. Mamudev obviously was in Tier 1 last season. He's dropped down to Tier 2 from a combination of results and also a need for a bit of confidence. And it looks like he's starting to find his mojo again, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I had a few battles with him last season, and yeah, he's definitely got a lot of pace, and fingers crossed he's having a good season. He's got a good teammate in Flaherty, of course, Tier 3 champion as well last season, so he's definitely in the right spot so far.
Indeed. And just on board with Lorpy, he's currently P10 with a 1:44.7. He's on a lap heading down the Camel Straight. He's out of battery already, though. Oh no, he's well down. Morgan bought that. He's well down this time. She's trying to find someone on a lap.
Yeah, everyone's
on an in or out lap.
Crusty T is just...
Wow,
single track. Wow, what a lap that is.
He's turned up. He's turned up.
Yeah, and I know you only just got home the same time I did, about 20 minutes before we started, so what a lap that is.
Start as you mean to go on. It's a very good lap. He's done back-to-back laps there, so the first lap would have been an installation warm-up, maybe invalidate, maybe just wanted to warm up on the tyre.
Yeah, I think he did invalidate, so he'd have backed out. I'm pretty sure he did. But we'll keep an eye on. We will do an on-board lap. Already 8 minutes of this session has gone, and that's... there's a lot of tracks where you can get 3 runs in, can't you? You can get out early, have a breather, do the second run about this point maybe, and then again have another breather and potentially go again with a few minutes to spare. But round here, because it's so long and it does take a lot of life out of the tyres, it's one where you've sort of really got to be on the ball all the time, don't you?
You do. It's the 7.004 kilometre lap, which in Roman English is about 4.4 miles. Roughly, and it's the longest length track on the calendar, and up there with Singapore for the longest outright lap time on the calendar. It's, as you say, it's a struggle to get the 3 runs in qualifying. If you do mess up a lap, it's no point cooling off and going for another one. You might as well just abort and get another set of tyres on.
Pretty much,
you don't have time to cool down and go again, cool down and go again, like you do in the likes of Canada and Austria.
Yeah, and it depends on when you do it as well. When you potentially invalidate, there is the potential through Stavolo, which we'll come to on the track map. But that's one where you can really, if you mess up there, and invalidate, you don't have that chance to recharge. If you do it early on through Eau Rouge and Radion, which can happen as well, you do have that lap to recharge and can go again from that. But otherwise, yeah, you're right. You'd got to pretty much go back in. So I'll tell you what, we're on board with Mamudev. Let's do an on-board lap with the man of the moment, as he's in the bus stop chicane, or formerly the chicane formerly known as bus stop chicane. And here he goes, getting the throttle down, using the overtake button. DRS wide open on the very short start-finish straight, braking around the 100-metre board into second, gets the car rotated very nicely indeed on the power. down the hill. All important to get that through turn 2. There it was. Did you see it? It's gone. Now then, get the line right through Eau Rouge, over the blind Radion, and then we go down that little kink of turn 6, Kennel Straight. DRS wide open on the Ferrari, and it's now just a waiting game. Pick your braking point, about the 60-metre board, lovely in through Le Combe, the first turn 8, and then get important through turn 9, which is nice and neat for Mamodev. Heavy braking down into turn 10, Bruxelles, the corner that never seems to end. Important to get the exit, get the car back to the other side, through 11, No Name, and then down the hill once again to the infamous Pouon corner. Does he lightly lift, has to drop down to 6, briefly just the understeer on that Ferrari, but keeps it all neat and tidy. Then into turn 13, the Campus chicane. Keeps it nice and tidy once again, leaves it in 4th gear to get the rotation. Then turn 15, the first of Stavolo. Important again to get that exit. He's really up on his time nicely, got a good exit as well. Then the long, not so straight through turn 17. We've got Blanchimont corner. There it is, the car bouncing, you can hear it off the tarmac. And then heavy braking around the 100-metre board into the bus stop chicane. Does he get it right? Gets the car just about stopped, drops to 2nd, and then up to 3rd. Fight in the rear, which is easy to lose through there. And it's a 1:43.1 for Mamodev. Just pips single track.
That's
good lap.
Very good
Right
laps.
lap.
And let's not discount Airways and C8 Lose laps, which were the early in the session laps, especially Lose. So you got 3 very good times, all within a 10th. Well, a 10th and a 100th.
Yeah.
At the top of the leaderboard there, which is incredibly good to see.
It is fantastic. Yeah, single track has got you saying he's got one of those very strange, one of his experimental setups, and he did tell me about it, and it seemed to be working very well for him at this moment in time. Monster not happy with his opening bunker, but plenty of time to improve with that. Fabian's looking forward, he's loving being back on track, and he's aiming for a top 10. Anything's possible around here, isn't it? You can easily easily gain a lot of time. The safety car risk is quite high around here as well. Just the walls are not that far away.
Yeah, and because of the high-speed nature, not just on the straights, obviously, but through some of the corners, like you mentioned, Campos chicane, that sequence there is ridiculously easy to lose it, whether you're on the curb, mid-corner, on the exit, or you just get greedy on the throttle, or your tyres have had it. The rear end can very easily go there, and yeah, like you say, the walls. I'm on board with Mamodev and is in that, and you can see it, just how close those walls actually are to the edge of the track. Same through the exit of La Source as C8 Lou 43.0. There you go. He's just raised the bar.
He has. I wonder if we are going to see the 42s. Well, it's going to have to be, really, isn't it? We're going to have to see the 42s.
I think we're going to see it. I think someone like maybe Airways. Roddy's been really quick all season. Sociopath, you don't need to even mention how quick he is.
Yeah.
As with Armar and Nick, those guys are all at the top of the championship with good results lately. They're all capable.
Oh, Monster! Down through Campus, lost the rear on his fast lap. He can get back to the pits and get out again, but lost half of his front end. He's got time to get back out, as long as he keeps his cool.
Done. That's what we're saying. Campos is probably the most underrated corner to lose it. Where he is now, actually coming out of Stavolo, it's so easy on the curb there to get that bit greedy and then boom into the wall on the right.
Yeah.
Next to the old karting track, just over the barrier. It's so easy to find yourself in that fence in the wall there.
It is, and funny enough, I just saw the end of Bit's lap. Finally set a lap time, and he actually ran out of his deployment before the bus stop chicane, and he must have been hemorrhaging time through there because it is such a long lap that you can lose so much time when you run out of the ERS, and that battery save in the race is going to be vital, I think, just to defend and not just overtake, but that defensive, especially if you've got somebody within the DRS up the Kennel Straight, and you can gain about 6, 7, 8 tenths, I think, if you've got the depending on setup and battery life and everything, and working in your favour. It's such a long straight and so important. I mean, I think the detection, I'm going to say it's before Eau Rouge, halfway down the hill, I think.
Halfway between La Source and Eau Rouge, halfway.
Yeah.
And then the deployment is just after the kink, after Radion. So there's a right-hand kink when you've actually reached the top of the hill.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that ERS difference is roughly 200 brake horsepower, which is a fifth of the overall power of these cars, roughly. So to think, if you're losing a fifth of that power, that's like losing a VW Polo GTI or maybe even a Fiesta ST from the engine.
Mine's got about that. Mine's got 230, so actually, yeah, mine's losing a full i20M performance, and yours is probably a bit more than that, I think.
Mine's 210, my Beamer's 210.
Yeah, so you're about the same. So we're losing our full car.
Yeah, it's a lot of power to actually lose for the same amount of actual weight that you're carrying. But on top of that, obviously, like you say, the deployment, you compare here to Austria, who just raced in Canada before that, really short laps. You can abuse the battery through those laps. When you come here, the first and third sector, you really want to cane the battery for every inch of pace and time and speed you can gain. But if you do that, like you say, bit running out early before the end of the lap, you then lose that time. In reality, you're losing up to 20 miles an hour, depending on how early you lose it. You can end up limited to 185 rather than 210 potentially, which is 25 miles an hour. That's the real difference you can lose. That's a lot.
It is, and it's mainly
more than DRS.
It's more, well, exactly, absolutely, and it's mainly obviously it's more effective under acceleration. But yeah, it gets you to that top speed that much quicker, and that just makes the difference as well. Down through these long straights and these long sectors, you want to be at that top speed as early as possible, of course, and that's the bit that will hurt as well. And that's going to be the difference between being in the DRS when you go past the detection or not. And that could be the point of unovertake or coming back. Colin's actually asked, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, very good question I've just seen.
Yeah, a hard tyre is a good tyre in the race with the 50% format. And that was interesting because we talked about this earlier, didn't we?
We did. So my honest opinion here, Colin, and I'll be really honest with you, I think all three tyres both are are all competitive. I think the soft and the medium are pace-wise really close. I think the hard is a little bit slower in terms of a single lap, but has the duration to go almost the whole, if not the whole race distance, which really does give you strategy options if you have an early safety car, for example. So the hard does have its uses and can be beneficial. I personally would like to see some variation in strategy, and you can obviously run the soft hard, soft medium, medium hard. All three options are viable options, so it's whatever you feel comfortable on with your setup at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and of course we mentioned that risk of safety car as well. You could try to do that strategy, maybe start on softs, go to the hards early, and otherwise that whole strategy, or even going long, and it's undone me a few times, I'll be honest, this season, where I could have had some better results, and then that safety car just at the wrong time has really hampered, and it's the risk we take, obviously.
It is. Speaking of risks, C8 Lou, our current pole sitter, is thundering down the Camel Straight towards Le Combe. He's on a new lap, and he's a quarter of a tenth down on himself at the moment, so he's still in the mix for potential PB. 1/10 up on Sociopath, who's just gone P2.
Oh, just looking at airways as he got very screwly and bailed on his lap outside the final bus stop chicane. Let's go on to C8 Lou then and have a look. Is this going to be enough?
No name currently.
Yeah,
and he's on the head-on down to Pouon.
Yeah, he's got a bit of it looks like a Red Bull, I think, ahead of him.
Yeah, the Red Bull's been locking up and had a scruffy lap ahead, so hopefully he's not lost too much, but there's been a lot of tyre smoke on screen for C8 Lou. If we can see it, then he definitely can see it.
Absolutely, you can. Single track, Bessie's going to do his 4th airways. Bessie's going to be his 5th. Roddy's in the pits, so he's just retired from the session, which is no problem. A lot of battery left for C8.
400 up, and yeah, like you say, plenty of battery. He will abuse it here.
And he is using a lot of it to get up to that top speed, as we mentioned. 196 mile an hour he hit there before Blanchimont, 197. Now then, what's he going to do into the final? Let's ride on board.
Here we go. He's going to have to really tap this first curve to open up the second one, and he does. That's a fantastic line.
That was a very nice line.
Nice
very neat.
On the exit.
Is it going to be an improvement?
It's a 43. Oh, thought it was be a 42.
Sociopath's build on his lap. What about Mahmoud Dev? Is this going to be enough? It is! Socio!
Oh, what a lap. 42.7. Wow. Great lap
that is
from Mahmoudev.
It is. What a lap. Freddie coming across the line. Can he improve? Freddie into second!
What a lap, Freddie. 42.9 as well.
Wow.
And we've got Smith still on a lap where he's in the final set and he's way down though.
Oh, he is. He's built on his. Wow. What an end.
Wow. Those 2 laps coming right at the end there. That is why you keep going to the end of the session, because the track keeps ramping up.
It does.
What a lap from both of them.
Well, essentially we're going to see it. We're going to have to. We're going to have to see the 42s, and we certainly did. But to be honest, I didn't actually expect a 42.7, but I'm glad we have. What a lap.
So Mahmoud will be gutted. He had back-to-back 43 zeros to then be leading nearly the whole session, and then Mahmoud and Freddie just pipping him right at the end. Oh, he'll be gutted.
He will, but if he can get a good start and through the source, it's not the worst place to be because of the slipstream down that long kennel straight. So Mahmoud is going to be pole position with Fruity alongside him. C8 will be in third, then Sociopath in fourth. Single track in fifth, and Marit in sixth. So let's have a quick look. We're going to have that 5-minute interval.
This sets up for an extremely exciting front fight for this win. You've got so many fast drivers in the top 10 and throughout the whole field, but especially this top 10 looking so competitive. Look how close the top 8 are. Well, top 7 are less than half a second, and this is such a long lap, so that really is not much at all.
It really is. That is very, very close indeed. So, yes, of course, Mahmoud, Fruity, C8s, Sociopath, Single Track, Marit's top 6. Airways in 7th with Armour Red in 8th. Roddy in 9th and Flaherty in 10th. Alex leading his teammate 11th and then Nick in 12th. Voice 13th, Loppy 14th, Smith, Cushy T, Monster, Bit, G-Star and Doris are rounding out the 20 drivers. So, yeah, that was an interesting... So we don't know the weather yet, so this is going to be interesting to see what's going to come. It's a bit cloudy.
It's very grey. That's grey.
Yeah, very cloudy.
It's good for us. It's not good for the drivers because that brings the strategy options a bit closer to the softer runners.
Yeah.
If they can keep the tyre life in the car, if they can keep them all happy, that suits them. The guys on the harder tyres and the mediums will struggle off the start compared to them now.
Yeah, they certainly will. Monsters put up that it is going to be dry during the race.
Okay, so
that's a bit of relief to many of those.
Hard on gambling on the rain then. So
yeah, potentially. So come on, there's only 8 people who have liked it. There's 20 of you watching. Hit the like button, folks, and do join us in the commentary chat. Saviour is loving the comms pairing of us. Appreciate that, my friend. Ryan's in the chat as well. Lovely to hear from you. Monster, I know you're fuming. Focus, my friend. We have 22 laps to race very, very soon indeed. And we mentioned, of course, turn 1, so tight, so narrow, and it's such a difficult one because you try to take the outside line, you've risked somebody, overcooking it and running a bit wide, and then you've also, when you try the inside, you get the potential of getting squeezed into the wall as well. It's such a difficult one to plan, isn't it?
It is, and obviously we saw Verstappen at the inside of Raikkonen a few years ago, trying that into turn 1, and you get pinched so easy at the inside, just trying to throw a nose up there. Bergen's saying it's overcast all race, so as Morris said, it is dry, and he's confirmed that as well. But the fact that it's overcast is going to potentially give tyre life that little bit benefit, and anyone who's slightly hard on the tyres is going to give them a bit more chance to extend or vary their strategy if they wish, which suits those who are a bit more aggressive than others.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just thinking through some of that qualifying session. Our pole sitter used a medium and then 2 soft tyres.
Yes.
So he's got a set of soft tyres left. Fresh soft tyres.
Yeah, he should have another medium as well if he's gone for a balanced option.
Yep, he will. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few drivers who use those mediums. So it's going to be interesting to see who did an extra lap or an extra run on the used softs, and then kept one for the race, or maybe bailed on an outlap or bailed on their lap, so didn't really take much out of them. That then is a viable option for the race should it come to it. So I think we've got it's going to be a mix of strategy, this, isn't it? And it's so up in the air.
Yeah, so don't be surprised to see anyone on the soft or the hard on the start. And personally, I'll be taking the medium because that just gives you the most strategy options for the race. It's the safe thing to do.
Yeah.
So there's a pre spoiler for tier 1. I'll be as long as it's dry, I'm starting on the medium. That's just what I always do. Like, I know you tend to like starting on hards most races, and that's again for a strategy option that you tend to play on. Which again,
it was definitely in my tier 2 days. It was tier 2 definitely worked for that. So yeah, I think now I think I generally try to go consensus. I know I tried opposite at Canada because of rain coming, and then the safety car didn't really help.
No, I remember that.
But yeah, it's one of those that it's so difficult, and especially with this game, to plan it. But yeah, I think I tell you the consensus, like I say, tier 2 days was definitely using the harder tyre seemed to work in my favour in those days. But obviously now we're mixing with the elite boys and yourself, and of course like the saviours, your Bennies and your Gonies. To be fair, well, I normally say it doesn't really matter what I choose.
Yeah, sometimes it's actually good to go for the alternative. I mean, I know Ant used to have this habit of always going for softs at the start, pitting early, waiting for the inevitable safety car that at some tracks you just know is coming, or at least you assume is coming, and then go on for whatever options he added later on. That doesn't tend to work so much nowadays, but that used to be a good strategy. And this is one of the tracks where you generally can play any strategy, and if you've got the right pace on and use the right tyre for your pace, you can make it work.
Yeah,
which obviously comes back to what Colin was saying earlier. Speaking of Colin's owl, Calvin, has said good evening, gents. Hello, Calvin.
Good evening, Calvin. Hope you're well, my friend. I have told everybody to ready up, so hopefully we should be going in the next couple of seconds.
Wagons roll. Let's go.
Absolutely.
So, who's your prediction for, not cursing, but who do you think is going to receive the big number one today, the dub?
Difficult one. I think C8's got a lot from third, and Sociopath definitely one to watch as well. I think single track with his strange setup, I think is another one. Interesting tyres. We've got Friddy and Maurice going with the hard tyres, and then a big mix of soft and mediums. So that is.
There you go. As I said, you can run any strategy here; it can work. So there is the proof of the pudding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know how I'm going to keep up with that one, to be honest. We'll do our best, folks. Roddy, I think is going to be an interesting one. But I think Sociopath and Friddy are going to be interesting, especially in the early laps with the harder tyres, especially Friddy on the hards, to get those up to temperature and just get the grip, because the overall grip is definitely going to be with the drivers behind. And we know Moritz is a hard driver. We know he races very hard as well, so that's going to be interesting, of course. And of course they're going to then go potentially, depending on what happens, go to the soft tyres late on in the race and be mighty quick.
Yeah, if they can switch the softs on, they will fly.
Certainly will. So
I'm personally going to go here is I'm going to put my money on Airways. Just got a feeling the guy's been rapid for so many seasons now, and when he turns it on, he flies.
Yeah. So does Armour, in fairness. I think that sort of group there. Yeah, Airways,
all the way down
Armour.
to even Nick. I'd say down to Nick P12. That's who I'm focusing on. Ryan Barber says Airways to win. He agrees with me. He's a man with some sense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good race. We just saw the potential strategies there: soft to medium, soft to hard, and then obviously vice versa. So that is an interesting one, and I know you've said it and analysed that as well. So yeah, this is going to be a good fun race. Expect a lot of movers and shakers. We'll go to the position changes when we get to the grid.
I'll keep an eye on the tyres.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. We're going to have a nice view down the grid as the field is quite nicely bunched. They've done a good job pointing quite a bit across the track.
Yeah, Mudev going really angled. He wants that outside line for turn 1 for the maximum braking and cut off the raging Freddy in P2.
He really does, and of course the tyre difference as well. Bergen saying flatty as well, so that's an interesting one. We've got good mix. But here we go, folks. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the Belgian Grand Prix Tier 2. Let's go racing, and it is a good start for Friddy. C8 got a good launch as well. Friddy got bogged down a little bit due to the grip, but I tell you what, C8 on the inside of the Ferrari already into turn 1, and he's got the move done. Sociopath past Friddy. He struggled on those hard tyres. Moritz has dropped one as well. There's a lot of movers and shakers through the field, as there's almost 2 abreast down the hill through La Source further back. But Everyone seems to be cleanly away, which is lovely to see. Tell you what, Mamadev's got a better run through there as well, though, using a lot of his battery. There he is, there he's gone through on C8. He retakes the lead as they break into the chicane, and that's Sociopath going very straight on as well. There's the Friddy's gone round. He went deep and he's gone round.
There goes me and Ryan cursing straight. I want to whistle airways. I saw
there was a bit of a hit from someone there. Oh, this is Moritz and Flatty. Nick's had a great start. He's up 6 places.
Yeah,
what on earth?
I did say Nick's definitely in the mix. I said he was in the mix, and look, there he goes. He's 6. He needs to get in the DRS gap ahead of him with Armour, who's also had a good start up 3 places. If he can stick in the DRS, then he's fine. If he loses it, and that same goes for single track and P4, if he loses the DRS to Sociopath, that group will fall back and fast.
Yeah, it is so crucial, isn't it? There's a chance to get it through that middle sector, but you have to be mighty through that middle sector to stand a chance. Armour's having a little bit of luck at single track already as they go up to Planchemont. This is very, very close. He's having to have a look. He's not going to make it through there. Pretty much one line as you're already alongside. Not making it this time out. I tell you what, top 3, nose to tail. Single track still in touch as well.
C8 Lewis is holding off. He didn't want to make the move. He wanted to wait. He wants the DRS. He wants to make sure he's not vulnerable. As look at Armour around the outside of single track trying a daring move.
But he's now, is he going to have the exit down the hill? That's very, very close. Single track got a little bit twitchy. Has he got the DRS? Just about.
Just got it.
Tell you what, Flatty's out though. Flatty doesn't have it on the back of Nick. That's crucial for Flatty.
Nick will be so absolutely buzzing with that. Flatty is vulnerable, but so is Mahmudev. So is single track. Look, you see them both under attack here.
Yep, C8's got the lead, and I tell you what, Armour's gone through as well on single track.
Yeah.
That was
and Nick's coming from now.
He certainly is. So top 6 all in DRS of each other. Airways has got through on Moritz and Flaherty.
Top 7, there's 7 different teams in the top 7. In fact, in the top 10, you've got 9 different teams, so that's nice to see an even spread. Shows that whoever organised the tiers made it nice and even, eh?
Certainly did. I tell you what, single track's under pressure from Nick.
Nick. Wow. That was
trying to have a look. Oh, he's trying to have a look through with Campus chicane as well. Single track's just a little bit shaky. Nick's still there. Into Stavolo. Oh, there's been contact. Nick had a little bit of move. Oh, I don't know how close.
I'm not sure if Martin ran him out of road or if Nick put it a bit late. I'm not sure. We'll have to see it later, but what that was definitely there was a case of Nick wanting to get on with it. He doesn't want to wait for the DRS. He wants to get on with the pass.
Absolutely, and that's cost Martin a huge amount of time. As he 1.8 now, he's going to be under pressure from, well, everybody behind, everyone else behind is in that DRS tread.
It's cost Nick a lot more on this occasion, though. I think Martin should be safe for a lap or 2. Nick, he's down to P10. I don't think he's got any damage, though.
No, I don't think it was just quite light, wasn't it? It was almost sort of side pod to the front wheels, so he should be okay. Loppy and Alex fighting further down, Ever Voice as well in the mix. So a lot of battles through this field. Doris from starting in the back is on up to 15, so he's had a good opening couple of laps. But let's go back to the top drivers as we've got Mama Davis trying, but I tell you what, never mind that. We've got Sociopath having a look at the Ferrari and gets the move done. Just got it stopped. Mamadev tried the late braking. Now he's under pressure from Armour. Just holds on. Where did that come from? Sociopath, he was such an overspeed. I don't know if he was using his battery. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't looking. But he's on the medium tyre, Sociopath. This is perfect for him. They'll be up to perfect temperature now as well, and the wear will be feeling very nice. He'll have a lot of confidence. Martin's caught them up as well. So he was 1.7 after that tangle with Nick, and he's gained a second. So whatever random, completely nutter, bizarre setup he's got, working very, very well for the McLaren man.
That and the fact that these guys are fighting so hard. Airways is still just inside DRS of Martin. Flaherty's not that far away now.
Oh, exactly.
Although the guys on the hards have not had a good start. Moritz is struggling, and Freddy also looks after that issue. He's okay in place, but he's not flying. The soft and medium runners are equally looking strong right now, as we've seen Sociopath make that crazy break move on the inside of Lecom. Looks to have plenty of pace, but so do these guys on the soft.
That's it. I think he's just trying to...
Oh, look at him go for the switch back up the final corner. Sociopath really hooked up that now.
He really is, isn't he? Absolutely. Is he going to try and move on the outside into the source? He's
hold
not.
Off. You got DRS in the next straight. Just hold off.
Yeah, he's got a nice exit as well. So we're on board with him at this moment in time. Flatty's had a moment there with Roddy and Nick. But we're going to see another change for the lead. And we're going to see Mamadev as well and Armour, who are nose to tail. Right behind this, you heard the B. DRS is open. Floppy's got the first penalty. Look at this further back as well. Armour's going for it. Armour's water speed. He's got it. He's going to try it. Whoa! And Sociopath's now broken himself as well.
He's going to have to give that back. He's going to have to give that back, I think.
He is to C8. He's not at this moment in time.
Well, it might well be the C8 loop. It's on the stewards. I'm not sure. Depends on how much time, but yeah, look, he's getting back. He knows.
He has.
He's a wise man. He wants to be fair. Good for him.
Absolutely great from Federico, and that was fantastic. And yeah, he's done it at the right spot as well. Couldn't do it too soon with the risk of everybody behind, so you had to do it at the right point to not lose time and not allow Armour to get through as well. But that's allowed Single Track and Airways now top 6, nose to tail.
Yeah.
And because of all this,
in the mix now.
Yeah, well, he was. I just noticed it during through Name and Bruce Elliott was about 2 seconds away. Now 1.3 because of everybody nose to tail. This is incredible. You know, we've had G-Star has pitted already. That's one of his 3 pit stops on the hard tyres. So of course he's a bit further back, Tier 1 driver. But everybody is very, very close indeed. This is incredible already. Don't normally see this. But I'll tell you what, Sociopath again gets a better exit.
Top 7 now, Nix and DRS means that, in fact, we got a DRS train the whole way down to P17. As long as Nick stays in it, the DRS train from P1 to P17.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And now then, what can Sociopath do? We've seen he's got great top speed. But so does the man behind, Armour Red. He's a little bit further back this time, Sociopath. But I'll tell you what, Armour's very, very close. There goes Sociopath. And I tell you what, Armour's having a look as well. Is Armour going to make it through? Can they get the car stopped in time? Just about. Armour got through. And that's Campered C8. So Mamadev tried him on the outside. Can he make it? He's still on the outside now, going into Bruxelles. Got the move done. Very opportunistic from Mamadev.
Yeah, 3 places lost there. So that was a really disastrous moment. A bit unfortunate with the contact with him and Armour, but I think that one was a bit more rubbing as racing. I don't think he either did anything wrong there.
No, I think you're right. I think that was just racing. It was the nature of the corner. And of course, just battling fair, and see, it had to back out of it. And yeah, just Mamadev just pounced on that moment there.
He had to, really. If you don't go for that, to quote the Senna, if you no longer go for a gap, you are no longer a racing driver, and that is the prime example. If you don't go for that, someone else is going to get you. So.
Absolutely. Maritz, I think, had a problem. He might have just had an excursion. He dropped a lot of places there.
It looks like the colder temperatures are just not suiting these hard tyre runners. I know Freddie's on the way back through the fields, but he's still not having the day that he probably would like to have. We'll see if the race comes to him later, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the minute, it's a bit of a mix. We've got 2nd to 5th on the soft tyres, and then our leader on the medium compound tyres. I think Single Track got a little bit squirrely again outside of the chicane. Again, very easy to do. Oopsie-daisy, pardon me for that. But then, how's Sociopath? How is he going to be down there? The gaps are about 6-7 tenths. That's the biggest we've seen them.
Yeah, he got a great exit out of the source.
Which we've noticed a few times, but just in the slipstream, Armour's getting 2 tenths. Already 3 tenths before the DRS comes active, which it is now. So we've...
Crucially though, the others behind him are not that close either, so Armour can afford to save his battery and probably go for it later this lap or even next lap.
Yeah.
Not risk being passed in a lap's time, he can just hold off.
That's it, with him in that launch, the second man to get 3 seconds. But yeah, with him in that piece of knowing that he's got the DRS and the people behind are not close enough and the gaps are stable, he can just keep an eye on it, as you said. Try to... Oh, who's at this gun? That's C8!
RB round, C8's round. He lost it at No Name on the exit. I think he's kept it out the wall, but wow, that was showing what we said earlier, how easy it is to lose it at high speed here. People run such low wings to gain the speed on the straights that in the corners you just have no grip.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's surprising. He's on the soft tyres as well, but could have just clipped the curb a little bit. And I think that might have given single track some avoiding action, so he's just dropped off a little bit now. But to be fair, we've seen him at the end of even this straight just get that time straight back. But he's got Airways, Nick and Roddy right behind him. Flaherty not far away either.
So we've got B17 in the chat saying hello and supporting Smith. It's good to see you back, Carl, and hopefully we'll see you back on track sometime soon, mate.
We certainly will, but I tell you what, Nick's trying it through the chicane on Airways and gets the move done at the minute. Got the DRS off the back of single track. Is he going to hold it into the chicane? He just about does. I'm trying to get a decent view, and that was a horrible camera angle. But look at this, he's almost pushing single track down the hill to La Source. Out to La Source.
He wants the DRS, so he's waited.
He does. Look at that. Everyone's so snaky round there. Look at this. Wow, backwards and forwards.
Look at the four of them side by side.
They are. Look at this now. I tell you what, Airways is the man who's got the job done. The Red Bull's on the inside of Martin as well. Martin's had to break early from it. And Martin lost out big time. Airways with a big winner through there. Roddy opportunistic as well. But they've lost
a lot, these guys, to the cars ahead, 3 seconds.
That was huge. Martin was sort of trying to play that game as well, and it just didn't work out for him, unfortunately, on that occasion. But now he can just recoup and get back through. We've seen he's already had that pace, and it's going to be interesting to see what Airways and that group can do.
That's what we touched on earlier with the battery, was saving your battery strategically. That 200 horsepower difference that Airways saved up, and the others used early to get position, like Nick and single track on the exit. Airways saved it, and look the benefit he had later in the straight.
Absolutely.
And Mahmudov has dropped out of DRS, by the way, of Sociopath, which is absolutely vital. That's the Armand and Sociopath might just run away now. Yellow flag, got 2 cars round. It's Moritz and Krusty T.
Oh, nightmare. Yeah, it's not going well for Moritz this evening, has it? Friddy's sort of having a battle with Doris, and Friddy's going backwards. Yet those hard tyres are just not working, are they, this evening?
It's the colder temperatures. If it was a bit warmer, sunnier day, they'd work. But yeah, these cooler overcast temperatures do not suit the hard tyres. It's absolutely clear, and anyone who's banking on a hard tyre late in the race will definitely want to extend just to give themselves a strategy option of the other tyre that they're currently on. Yeah, especially if they can see, well, they can hear us and see what we're seeing. Absolutely, they certainly will. And yeah, you're right, Bergen's right about the DRS game. He's just saying we saw obviously a lap ago Nick and Martin playing the DRS game on each other, trying to give each other a. Oh, safety cars. Krusty's lost at the pit entry.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, just saw the end of it there. So, this is crucial now because we could see, well, what do we think? Medium tyres? You're going to have to, aren't you? I think everybody's going to have to.
If you're on the softs, you go medium. If you're on the mediums, you're going to have to go hard because the softs, even if 3 laps of safety car, say 9, comes in like 11, 12 laps on the softs, they can probably do it just hanging on, but they won't be nice.
No, I think you're right, and we've just seen obviously the difference between the tyres. There's not a big offset, is there? The softs just starting to fade a little bit on a few drivers, getting a bit more slidey and struggling for that overall grip at this moment in time. So I think you're right there that it is now that the mediums probably going to be the better tyre. But like I say, if you've started on them, you're going to struggle in it. Especially if you're starting on the hards. Moritz, I think at Friddy you're going to be glad of that to be able to get onto those mediums probably. And I wonder if we see a few of those medium tyre runners jump to the softs just to, well, potentially risk it and have a go.
If you're Monster and bit towards the end of the grid, it's worth a gamble. If you're Sociopath and Airways, I think, and Nick and Roddy for that matter, those guys in the top 6, it's such a huge gamble that you'll be fine for the next 5-6 laps, but it's when you get to lap 17 onwards, you're going to really start to question your life choices if you're on the wrong tyre.
Yeah, and we do see Sociopath in. Are we going to see every driver in? I think we are.
Everyone will be in.
They will. The people who are going to struggle looking through the order is going to be Ever Voice, maybe Flaherty as well. I think the gap's big enough for Flaherty to not have get held up. Looking like absolutely every single driver is in the pit lane.
They need to be. The benefit of not pissing right now is absolutely null and void. We've seen how many moves have been already. It's a track you can overtake at, with and without DRS, as Nick's shown by the aggression he's shown in the middle sector.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, they are going for the hard tyres. Doris has gone for the softs, but everyone else...
That's it. You've got to gamble if you're at the back end of the grid, but if you're at the front, you've got to play safe. You've got to be there at the end. This suits Armour, single track, Flaherty and C8 Lou more than it suits anyone else.
It certainly does. Absolutely. So, I think Armour's probably in the best position. We've seen how much pace he's had, and of course he's on those better tyres. So I think now, if he gets a move early on Sociopath, this could be absolutely key, especially if you've got the people like your single track Flaherty, of course, C8 and those behind, struggle to get through a couple of the others. That's now where they can, Airways can really, really make headway on that, can't they, and make the most of those tyres as much as possible, because like you say, we've seen Moritz and Freddie really struggle at those early stages of the race.
Exactly. As long as these guys can warm up the tyres, it's hard to behind the safety car. We've seen in this game in particular, the tyre warmth is absolutely awful. But if they can get any heat into the hard tyre, which Sociopath, look at him absolutely weaving away already.
Yeah,
you're going to have to.
You can do it a bit. It's a lot easier to do it on the formation lap behind the safety car because of the slow cornering speeds and the acceleration difference between a safety car, of course, and a Formula 1 car. It's nigh on impossible, especially in these conditions. Even the mediums, I think, are going to really, really struggle.
Yeah, obviously Doris, the only driver on the grid on the soft tyre, he's going to be tiptoeing, trying to save every inch of that tyre that he can.
Yeah.
Everyone in the mediums, you know, they can afford to push it a bit, they'll make it, no problem. On the hards, the hard tyre life is really good, but the tyre temps, they're going to have to really abuse that tyre to get tyre temp. And obviously the real test will be not out of the source, but into Lecom, who's got the brake temperature, because obviously you've got such a long period without proper tyre temps and brake temps, and then the first proper burst of speed they get, and they're on that run down to Lecom, there's no chance for them to warm the brakes up. So if someone fancies a move or gets a little bit late and snatches a brake, you can see a collision very easily.
Yeah, we really could. I think you're right there, and especially with the tyre difference, you know, you're going to get that run out of La Source and that extra grip, so you're going to be potentially right on the back end of somebody. Voice has pitted again. What if he's gone for a set of mediums?
He's on the hards currently. Yeah, I think he's going to go for a medium.
Yeah,
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, Moss said he's embarrassing himself at the minute. I mean, he's in 12th, you know, he's got 3 seconds, but he's in the points. That's key, and that's what you need. Don't forget, it's down to 15th now. That we have our point strategy. They've gone to the MotoGP style, which honestly confuses the life out of me. All I know is if I'm in the top 15, I'm scoring points. I have no idea how many, because I can never remember it.
Yeah,
but as long as I'm scoring.
I always like to think, there's one thing that I always think that makes it nice and easy, which is the guy ahead of you is more points than what you've got, so
absolutely.
Go get him.
Yeah.
Just go get him. And cross the bridge of how many points it is for each position later. More is more. Every point will count at the end of the season.
It certainly does.
Do the maths when you finish the race. It sounds silly, but if you spend all the time in the race trying to do sums of what's what, you end up missing a break point, going off track, or just not pushing as hard as you should.
Absolutely. You're totally right there. I just think, yeah, if I can finish the top 15, that's what matters. That's where the points are. And that's it. Finish as high as you possibly can. That's why we go racing. That's the whole point of racing.
I thought the whole point was just to come second to the nearest German.
You see, I was being nice. I was never going to say that. I'm surprised.
Really good at that.
I'm surprised no one's put that in the YouTube chat, to be perfectly honest.
Savey himself did pop up and say, "Oh, what an amazing comms duo." So
he did.
Our favourite German in the whole wide world likes us.
That's all that matters. We don't need anything else.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You did get to speak to Crofty.
I did get to speak to Crofty, in fairness. That was magical. That was an amazing moment.
Still feel like you should have asked him to do a comms with you one time.
I know. I would have loved that. That would have been incredible, to be fair. Even just co-com with him and sitting there in a practice session just to talk to him for a bit would have been fantastic.
Oh yeah. There we go. Safety car is coming in this lap. Safety car has disappeared, so Sociopath will become the default safety car for the short term.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting now. You see him weaving a lot, but it's going to be interesting. He can't go too slowly because he won't generate enough heat, but then he doesn't want to push it, but because of where the pit lane is, he should be alright. But where's he going to go? Is he going to try and go before the chicane?
You want to go mid-chicane, really, because that's when Armour can't get his foot down, because it's off camber and it's uphill.
But he's gone. He's gone early just before.
Around, yeah.
He's not, and Armour did see it. He is there.
Mamedev's got the tyre advantage, so that was a bit of a risk, I think, a bit of a gamble that's not paid off. Look at him, he's still with him.
Yep, he is. Mamedev struggled a little bit, so did Airways on their restart, so they've dropped a little bit, 8/10 back.
And there Socia locks up in turn 1, so there you go, the cold brakes, he snatched it, and already, look at that, less than 4 tenths. Is this going to be a here comes Sebastian Vettel moment as he comes over Redion, heading down towards Lecombe?
Yeah, but who's going to be using the battery? Who's going to be trying to save it? But I tell you what, Armour's there, but I think he's just saving. He's been steady. Single track's already got through on Roddy. Important for him.
Very big move.
It is.
Needs to go and get Nick. And Socia locking up again.
Just a bit deep. Managed to get it stopped enough to not lose too much time. Riding, looking back all the way through there. And he's still locking up, and that's just the difference with those hard tyres. Right, well, it's just about a second back. It's going to be interesting to see what, of course, Armour can do about this. Interesting to see what Loppy, C8 Flatty and Single Track can do about those on these hard tyres around them. And they want to be really quick. Ooh, Nick's 3 seconds through P1. And that's one of the easiest places, isn't it? I think...
yeah, running wide at P1 is an easy thing to do.
Yeah. You just get that bit of understeer as well, don't you? It's easy to understeer down the hill there. Tell you what, Armour on the back, they're dropping Mamedev a little bit now, and it's so important. And that's what Single Track, for example, is not going to want. He is not going to want that DRS to be broken, because it makes his job so much harder. But I tell you what, Armour, look at him right on the back. And such about half race distance.
Surely.
He certainly will. I think he just showed his hand just to try to put Sociopath off a little bit, make him rethink it.
That's brought Mahmoudov back into DRS briefly. Will he stay in it for the next run down to Eau Rouge?
Here we go. Oh, Sociopath clipped the wall! He clipped the inside with his rear wheel.
Oh, that could be vital, because that's brought Mahmoudov back in DRS. Obviously, Armour takes the lead.
But it's given Sociopath the DRS though.
Yeah, and crucially though, that helps the guys behind, because the DRS will be enabled for Mahmoudov, which keeps them all in touch.
Yeah, but now Sociopath.
Here goes Sociopath.
Yes, got the
Nick's
move
going
done.
for a move on Airways, by the way.
Yeah, we're looking on board. There's Nick. Has he got past 2 of them? He's got past 2 of them. He's got deep though.
Nick is a man on a mission.
Yeah, is he going to have to give that place back? I'm not sure. I think
if you go that late on the brakes and go off track, you really should be.
Yeah, you really should. Are we going to see him give it back? Yeah, we're going to see him give it back down the hill where we saw earlier. I don't think Nick's playing that game. He's not.
Is he going to play the Ricardo move of, okay, I'll take the penalty, I'll just make the gap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he did at Singapore. I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Mahmoudov and Airways might contest that. Martin might contest that, because they will have all seen that.
Yep, they will. But Nick's got that 3-second penalty as well, and he's dropping off the back of the top 2. 1.4 seconds that gap now.
Yeah.
Well, we know the tyres.
He's nearly broke the arrest on Mahmoudov though. He's 9.5 tenths nearly.
Yep, he is. He is a man on a mission. You said this earlier, and he was part of that train that we said that's going to be sort of. Armour's always pushing Sociopath through Blanchimont.
Yeah, he doesn't want to make the move too early, but he doesn't want to get caught by Nick. It's a tough balance to make, and yeah, look how quickly Nick's caught, half a second.
Well, that's because he can brake where he wants. They had to really just the fastest lap of the race, Nick, as well with that. But yeah, he had to sort of brake Armour just to be steady, to not go into and push Sociopath too much. And that just allowed Nick, who was far enough back, to brake where he wants and accelerate as much as he wants. He's just outside of the DRS though, this lap round, but
too early.
On board with Armour. He goes to the outside, DRS is operational, and that move is done very, very early indeed. Sociopath tucks back in. But what can Mahmoudov? Are we going to see a battle? Airways had a little sneaky look, and I tell you what, they weren't quick enough and close enough to Nick to challenge him this time round.
Got a lovely drive through there, Airways. Lovely through Lecombe. He looks a bit more confident than Mahmoudov. Maybe Airways has a bit more wing on board. Martin, obviously on the medium behind, should have more grip. But with these three fighting and having DRS, he can't make headway. He is very stuck in the situation.
Yeah, but maybe Martin, he was on the softs to start with, and you know, he was losing a bit of time and struggling a little bit. Saw a few wavy moments towards the end. of that stint before the safety car, but maybe he's just biding his time, trying to take these mediums that little bit longer before he really pushes on. So we know he's got the pace. We've seen it earlier. Mamoudev is off the back of Nick, so Nick now needs to really push on and try to get within the DRS of the top two if he's going to stand a chance of a podium this evening, even potentially a win, even with his penalty. But yeah, this is I mean, I know there's battles further down. I know Doris is in 10th. He started in 20th. What a fantastic race.
He's come back on the soft since that safety car, and he's flying. Roddy's struggled since the safety car restart and has lost a few positions. Armour, he's now got 7/10 gap going into turn 1. Can he hold on?
Ooh, Airways into turn 1. He's going to have a look at Mamoudev.
Nice
gets the move done, but is that too early?
He's out of the DRS from Nick, so he's going to lose out.
Exactly that, and Mamoudev and Singletrack aren't that far behind. How much battery has he got? We're going to keep looking backwards though, so I don't try and give too much away. But they are very...
using his right now. Mamoudev is out of battery right now. Martin and Airways and Mamoudev all
look at Singletrack trying on the Ferrari. He's going to be latest on the brakes. Oh, a little bit of touching there. But Martin's held it, Mamoudev's held it. Singletrack is now through. But that's cost him a little bit of time to Airways, who manages to go a little bit deep into Bruxelles. And very twitchy as well. This is the biggest we've seen a few of the gaps through the field, so on that note, let's a little bit further down.
Has broken DRS, by the way, out front, so can he run away now?
That's it, exactly. Medium tyres.
Can Mamoudev keep with Martin, or will Martin now eat into Airways? Obviously, he's the outlier in this group, chasing the podium.
Absolutely, certainly is. But we're looking a bit further back now, behind Singletrack, because we've got C8's come back into the DRS, Flatty, Doris there on the soft tyres, and Floppy Loppy himself. So this is going to be a mix of tyres between them all. Nick has closed that gap to Sociopath further up, funny enough, to get within it. So is Martin at this moment in time. So this is far from over. Doris, what a run through Blanchimont! What a move! Does that through Blanchimont? Wow!
He's making them work while he can. When he's still off the pace at the ends, that's another question. But right now, he is absolutely flying.
Yes, Singletrack needs a good exit from the Source hairpin down the hill. Has he got it? Is he going to be close enough? Oh, it just drops beneath the second. Is he going to be there when he crossed the white line? I think it's just about there.
We'll find out when he gets to the top of the hill.
He certainly will. Going to add on board.
He has. He's got it. He's got it.
He has. There it is.
The flap open.
Yep. So that's crucial to keep ahead of Mamoudev. And also, but tell you what, C8's having a look at Mamoudev. Mamoudev is not liking the hard tyres at all. No. Doris is going to have a look at the Ferrari as well. The soft tyres working beautifully. What a move that is from Doris.
Mamoudev has struggled since this restart, and Doris has gone from being P15 after the safety car restart on the softs up to P7. And you know what? I can see him taking C8 lead when the lap start next lap. DRS he's got that CLU won't have. And then the scary thing here is after that, Martin in P5 needs to really... He's been watching forwards, trying to chase down the guys ahead. He's going to have to start looking behind him at C8 Lou.
He is, absolutely. Airways really dropped off the back of Nick as well, so he is really, really vulnerable. So Singletrack's going to really need a strong end to this lap.
Doris has had a huge moment into Stavolo, by the way, and has been passed by Mamoudev.
Oh, big contact! I think there's carbon fibre gone from the Williams. There is.
Oh, wow. And that's contact, and that's Flaherty through. Lorpy through. Doris and Mamoudev have just jinxed them all, because we said about how Martin was the next vulnerable one to them, and then, well, yeah, Doris had a moment coming into the first part of Stavolo. On the exit, Mamoudev went for the move, and then too wide there. It's a hard corner to go too wide.
Oh, it is.
And
very
they
much
both
so.
ended up understeering off track.
Yeah, it was, and I tell you what, Doris, that front end plate damage is really hard. Roddy's pit, C8. Oh, Singletrack's at a moment!
Oh, he's lost it turn 1, yeah.
Into turn 1, I think that's the brakes as well. I think that was on the brakes. I think the rear must have locked off his front wing as well. Oh, that man who was trying to make headway, challenging the top 3.
Yeah, that's ruined Martin's attempts at what could have been a podium.
It is.
In the meantime, though, obviously, yeah, Nick P2 now, he's got ahead of Sociopath after all of that. He missed doing DRS straight. Nick's come alive on these hard tyres. He looks really happy. Sociopath will just want to stick with him and get the position back after the race, because obviously Nick has that penalty.
Yeah, let's go to that and show everybody. So the penalty, 3 seconds for Nick, C8, Loppy, 3D, Error Voice, Monster Bit and G-Star all on 3 seconds.
These two can play leapfrog and use the DRS and slipstream of each other to gain on Nick and to pull away from Airways if they're clever. If they fight hard, then they will both lose out, and obviously that benefit the likes of Airways and C8 Lou. But yeah, if these two are clever about it, they can make headway into Almar. Nick with that penalty, it would suit him to play clever, associate, use him, and yeah, both of them have got plenty of battery right now, so they can afford to.
They can, and we've seen once people start battling how much time they can lose, and it is a huge, huge amount, isn't it, as well? We've seen some of those gaps ebb and flow quite a lot, and very severely, haven't we, during the course of the early part of this race, where people battling, and we've seen people, but that 2.4 second lead that Armour's got, those medium tyres working beautifully for him at this moment in time.
It is. Right now he's looking rather comfy. Sociopath lining up Nick here. Should be a standard DRS pass into Lacombe. Yeah, Nick moves aside to let him through.
Yeah.
These two are playing the smart game. They've got a big buffer.
Yeah, but they have to use it, don't they? They're on the slower tyre as well, of course, so that's they just need every bit of help they can to each other. Berger makes a very good point. Why Roddy has retired in the pits. He was on the outskirts of the top 10, he was, and we're not actually sure about that.
Yeah, he was on for plenty of points. Hopefully it was, well, we'll say hopefully, maybe it was just a tech issue. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It's obviously a shame for anyone to retire for any reason, especially if it's by choice in the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you have that rear wing damage that's irreparable, and around here, even every track, to be fair, even Monza, it's just horrible. You can't turn the car with any, even without throttle, you can't turn it at any kind of speed.
No. But yeah, Alex becomes the latest member of the penalty club. 3 seconds for Mr. Ajeric. Half the grid now with a penalty.
Martin hasn't pitted.
Yeah, I think maybe he just lost it under braking, or maybe avoiding another car perhaps, but shame to see. He's obviously still in the points. The guys ahead of him have both got penalties, the 2 cars ahead, so if he keeps his head down, top 10 is still doable for him here. And Doris on the softs, will they survive or will they fade out?
Yeah, but, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. And it's now, because that's quite a bit of damage on that McLaren. It was half of the front wing was really damaged there, but Doris has got that end plate damage, of course, as well, to his Williams. So he seems to be managing okay, but as you said, depends how long these tyres last. He'd be the only
has
driver.
Got the benefit of Lorpy with the DRS dragging him along. Lorpy has a penalty, so Doris just needs to sit with him and then take place on merit afterwards. Speaking of taking places, Airways is dropping back. He's lost a second since Nick and Soso started playing leapfrog. He's lost over a second to those two. So obviously Nick's got a 3 second penalty. May have something to do with those collisions early in the race. May come up from something may come up from that. We'll see. I hope nothing does, as Flaherty now gets a penalty.
Yeah.
So Muno could actually gain 2 places back up to P5 with the guys ahead and having penalties. So the penalties are going to decide a lot of these final positions.
Yeah, they certainly are. And to be fair, Loppy's dropped off the back a moment. Maybe he's got those hard tyres working now. Maybe he's just found out where the grip is and where he can push, and so seems a bit more comfortable than he was. But yeah, I mean, even though Sociopath and Nick are doing that leapfrog game, as you mentioned there, they're not really closing on Armour, so those mediums are working very, very well for our current race leader. 2.5 seconds. They've closed a couple of tenths, but with only 4 more laps after this one remaining, time's running out.
Yeah, Armour looks quite comfortable. Obviously, you never say never in Formula 1. Don't forget 2008 when Raikkonen out and nowhere put it in the wall. Mind you, we've got a Red Bull with Error Voice round at Stavolo. In the second part of the corner, he has dropped it, which is a shame for him on his return. But yeah, obviously Raikkonen and Hamilton in the rain is Raikkonen dropped it 2 or 3 laps from the end on dry tyres in the wet, and yeah, it just shows that one moment here can literally just throw the whole race up in the air. So Almar does have to keep his foot down. We've seen it from other drivers even today. Obviously Martin at turn 1 dropping it, Airways just then dropping it at Stavolo. So it's not a given, as Nick and Sociopath once again swap positions.
They do.
C8 Lou and Flaherty and Mahmoudev, another fight. Mahmoudev just can't get in the DRS of these two, but needs to keep with them. He wants that P5.
That gap's come down a little bit, so I'd say Mahmoudev's looking a bit more comfortable now on those hard tyres. So he's getting there. Moritz and Monster having a little battle further back, but he's got big battle with Bit and Alex behind.
That could be a tasty little fight between three very long-term racers in MRC, and Moritz, who's a very competitive newbie who's nice to have in the mix as well. As Moritz getting very racy into the downhill right with Ravage and now into No Name. Just keep with him, Andrew, and I'm sure when the DRS comes you will have a very good opportunity.
Yeah, difference in tyres. We're going back to that screen now, and it does seem that the hards are okay. Oh, what happened to Nick? Nick's had a big moment. Not sure where that was. Might have been through Stavilo, because now that 5-second gap. And he's got Airways for company as well, so this could just gift Airways a podium. The final 3 laps.
In fact, the worst bit for him is obviously the cars behind. He's now vulnerable to potentially even Mahmoudev if he gets in too much of a fight with Airways.
Yeah.
Because of the penalties, Mahmoudev could even jump him. C8 and Flaherty both have penalties, so they're not concerned right now.
All on 3 seconds as well.
You could potentially even drop from what would have been P3 down to P5 at the end.
Yeah, you could do actually, yeah, because of Airways and Mahmoudev, yeah, if everyone's close enough. I'm not able to do the maths, I'm not going to lie. It's not far off, it's about 5. Enough. It's about 5 at the minute.
Nick's very low on ERS. I'm not going to say any numbers because obviously the tactics, but he's not got a bulk of it to play with. Mahmoudev here having a look at C8 Lou at the inside of Lecom, and there's a bit of contact, but nothing major.
Yeah, the one that's an Aston Martin, I think that's Monster. It is. Difficult for Monster, unlucky for him. Not sure what happened there.
He was in the fight for P12, so that is a shame for him.
Absolutely. And that 3-second penalty is not going to help him gain back either. So at the minute, both Aston Martins not scoring any points this evening. But we're going to go back up to this little battle with Airways and Nick. See how this could develop, because they're on the same tyres as well. That's just giving Sociopath so much breathing room. He can rest easy now. Of course, he doesn't want to lose too much space. And of course, 3-second penalty, so the gap is 3 seconds. He's going to still want to keep that pressure on and try to keep the gap under that 3 seconds, just in case.
Yep. Both Astons pick up an additional 3 seconds on this lap alone, so as you mentioned there, they're having a bad race today by their standards, and that would be a bit of salt in the wounds at this point.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
So you're right though, Sociopath, but just needs to keep it clean, just in case, because you never know, Armar could. You never know what the penalty situation is.
That's it, and because we had the safety car around lap 8, no one had actually taken... Oh, Edward goes very deep, didn't get the car stopped into La Sauce. But no the tyres for this long yet. So that's also a key point, because actually Mahmoudev's really caught in the back at C8 again, so let's keep an eye on this one. But no one's run the tyres in race trim or in a proper race this long before, so this is where the uncertainty of the degradation could really come in to play, as Mahmoudev does get through with the DRS.
There's his teammates next, who I'm sure won't fight him too hard, but they might work together just to secure the points for the team.
Yeah, especially if... Yeah, sorry, I was going to say. I'm sorry, sorry for overcutting. I was just going to say that, if those mediums are starting to go away for a lot of these drivers now, and the hards just feel a bit more confidence in the tyre and can lean on them that little bit more, as you said earlier. And you were clear that those hards can do a good race distance, and they can just really push. Mahmoudev is feeling and looking a lot more confident than he did previously. So it could be an interesting one, of course, with that 3-second penalty for Flatty. Like you say, if they don't fight each other, could help, but maybe Flatty's just going to try to push on and minimise sort of the loss that he's going to get from those 3 seconds, even though we've got people behind on penalties as well. Doris is doing quite well. He's still managed 12 laps on the softs. He's in 10th and got a good gap.
And that's with damage too.
It is, yeah, and single track's kept going, so he's got a decent gap to Bit. So single track going, we've got one more lap to go. Armour starts the final lap of the race, and Sociopath has closed the gap, so maybe those mediums are starting to go off a little bit now.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the penalty situation just to see what the situation is.
in terms of the race start, yeah, good point in terms of the warning, so it can be quite close and quite interesting.
Armour has 1 warning. And Sociopath has 2.
Wow.
So Sociopath is pushing, in fact he's just took 1 this lap. Somewhere. Don't know how, but he has.
Maybe through Radion, I would imagine he just comes through Lecomte.
Possibly, but yeah, these two are giving it all, and good for them.
Absolutely.
Nick's dropped airways, by the way, so
he has, yeah.
Nick clearly still has the pace even after that little moment earlier. I doubt he'll get it up to 3 seconds, but he's going to try. You've got to give it a go.
Oh, you certainly do. You never know what's going to happen through the lap, of course. Long lap, as we've said. But Armour currently in the lead, and a commanding lead. What a race he has had. A lot of fantastic battles we've seen as well.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
It has to be a very well-deserved victory for the Alpine man, as we're going to ride on board with him as he comes up towards Blanchimont for the final time. And we've got there in the background, there's Sociopath, really closed down massively.
He's
so
found
yeah,
7 tenths this lap.
Wow.
Really pushing. I think Armour's probably more there than just cruising, but
yeah, just saving the rubber tyres, just making sure he hits his markers as he comes through the chicane. And it's going to be the Alpine of Armour. It's going to take the win with Sociopath in second. Really
well
great racing
for
from them. Absolutely very well deserved.
Nick nearly got 3 seconds. Nearly got there.
Yeah,
just
nearly.
right.
So Iwes is going to take the 3rd spot. Nick is going to be in 4th. Mamadev pips his teammate to 5th. Flatty in 6th. C8 in 7th. Then we got Friddy and Loppy in the top 9. Doris with damage and making those soft tyres work. Okay, thanks for that bit. He does take 10th, and then single track with a lot of damage. Disappointing, I'm sure, for him. But he's going to come across in 11th place ahead of his teammate in 12th. Oh, big crash there, thanks for that. So, but Maurice gets 12th because of the penalty to Bait. Error Voice in 14th, Alex in 15th, Smith in 16th. And difficult day for both of the Aston Martins, 17th and 18th. Roddy and Krusty T, the DNFs, unfortunately this evening, but that was a heck of a race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. You got, like we said earlier, the strategy options and battles really made that interesting, and obviously good driving, especially the top 2, really came alive after the safety car. And lots of aggression and good battling from the likes of Nick and Mahmoudov in particular. See them coming through after dropping down each and coming back. It was good to see. Tough to pick a single drive of the day, but
it is, isn't it?
Armour did come from, at one point, I think it was P8 or P9 on the grid to P1, so it's kind of difficult to argue with that.
I think I have to agree with you, to be perfectly honest. Doris has got it
Doris,
from,
mind.
That's fair enough, got from 20th, so, you know, in the top 10 finish, so, I mean, that's a very, very good call as well. Probably the only good call Codemaster have made for quite some time. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with you on that one and say Armour, because what a race he did. Started on the softs and made them work, and then the mediums just drove off a little bit at the start. Safety car restart, and what a win it was for him. Great racing from a lot of those drivers, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I might see a few little bits in the stewards, there's a few hit and miss moments, but you know, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, hopefully nothing too major, but there's a few collisions you see here and there. I'm sure some people will have a few words to say. But yeah, look at that. The top 4, all of whom have found positions. I know so far found 3, but 7th, 8th and 12th all ended up in the top 4 at the end. 10th place to 6th for Flaherty. Yeah. Lorpy and Doris, like you said, make great moves, and so did Bit, 18th to 12th. So
yeah, good race from him.
Good to see lots of moves all over the grid.
Certainly did. Yeah, there's all the standings there. Provisional, of course. G-Star got the fastest lap. In the end, did his 3 stops as well. But yeah, so single track left the session early. He didn't actually finish that. He finished in 11th. Did single track. So I think his internet may have cut. He was having a few problems with that. But there's your provisional standings, folks. And all that's left to say from us is a big thank you to everybody for taking part. Thank you to all the drivers. Mr. Bailey, what a pleasure it's been once again. Been a long time.
It has. I'll try and do it again soon.
We certainly will, my friend. Thank you so much. Best of luck coming up soon in about half an hour's time.
Yeah, and to yourself as well, of course.
Yeah, we will be taking to track Tier 1 coming soon. We have Monster and the man formerly known as Chatty Duck bringing you Tier 1 action just in under half an hour's time. So until then, folks, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button, and we will see you very, very soon indeed. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you soon. Good night.